Now let's look at a monopoly. So conditions for a monopoly is that there's one firm that supplies all or most of the market. There's no substitutes products, so consumers really don't have any other choice. And barriers to entry prevent other firms from entering. So this means that a monopoly can be making a profit in the short run and in the long run because firms aren't able to enter, they can keep those profits. Now, when we look at a monopoly, because there's only one firm, the firm actually sees the market. And so the demand curve that the monopoly sees is a market demand curve, and therefore it's downward sloping. If you recall from perfectly competitive market, the demand curve is a horizontal line at the price that's determined by supply and demand in the market. So monopoly is different. Now, the interesting thing, because the demand curve is downward sloping, and that's what the firm sees, and that is also its price, that is, the demand curve tells us the consumer's willingness to pay, and so that's the price that monopoly is going to charge. The marginal revenue curve is not equal to price. It's inside the demand curve or price line. Reason for this is monopoly, if it wants to sell more, then it needs to reduce the price in which it's selling the product for. Whereas with the perfectly competitive market, it could produce more product and sell it at the market price, therefore marginal revenue equals the price. But because a monopoly has to reduce the price, the marginal revenue is always less than price, and therefore the marginal revenue curve falls to the inside. Now, a monopoly is still going to use the profit maximizing formula of producing where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. So let's put in our cost curves so we can find that point. All right, so we put in our average total cost curve. Again, average total cost curve starts quite high, comes down like that upwards, awkward. Okay, so we put in our average total cost curve. So average total cost curve starts high, decreases, and then increases like a lopsided smile. Then our marginal cost curve, remember, has to intersect the minimum point of the average total cost curve. Now, the firm is going to maximize profit by setting a quantity where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. So we locate this point, and then that is the quantity that the firm will produce. So we'll call this quantity A. Now, if the firm is going to produce this quantity, it will charge price A. So again, we determine the quantity by finding the intersect of marginal cost and marginal revenue. That tells us that the firm is going to maximize by producing quantity A. We draw our line up to the price line, and that gives us the price that the firm can charge. Now, we can determine what does it cost us to produce this quantity. So if we're going to produce quantity A, then the cost to produce is determined by the average total cost curve. And so if we draw a line over, then this represents our cost to produce A. And so we can see in this case that this firm actually makes a profit, which is, so the price that it charges times quantity, so everything below this price line is revenue, everything below this cost line is cost. And so this area between the PA and the CA and A and the marginal cost equals marginal revenue is economic profit. Now again, because firms are barred from entering is in the short run, there's no entry or exit, and so the monopoly remains with an economic profit in the long run.